Hey folks, welcome back. Excited to bring you some more Humankind today, and I've got something a little bit different this time around, like I've mentioned before. And we're going to jump straight into the world settings because these are going to be important. So you'll see we're on a large map as usual. We have a regular continent shape, so we're reverting back from chaotic for this. 40% land percentage and 3 continents with New World turned on. And that's because this time around we're imposing some conditions on ourselves that is going to interact with the New World setting. So specifically, we are not going to allow ourselves to settle any city other than our capital city until we settle the New World. So once I settle the New World, once I find the New World, I'm free to settle cities on that continent as I see fit, but I won't be able to settle cities on other continents still. I'm going to kind of like allow myself to take cities from other players after I reach the industrial era, but we'll get to that when the time comes and still see if it makes sense. But otherwise, I'm effectively going to be playing a one city challenge up until I'm able to settle on the New World. So we'll see if this actually makes for an interesting setup. You see here some of these personalities are back, including the settler one that was pretty decent last time around, despite pretty simple bonuses, as well as a couple new ones and some old ones that I'm giving another shot. I'm also noting, I think it's in, where is it? It's in this setting. I've turned vassalization back on for this. So we're going to jump in and see how it goes. And hopefully I can find the New World in pretty short order. So see you in a second. All right, folks, here we are on turn 1. And we actually have a pretty solid starting location here. Like nice river, good terrain, a couple luxury resources, really solid. Only disadvantage here is that my movement's going to be kind of inefficient. However, there's a nice path here. Oh, look, and food. Yeah, great starting location. And unfortunately, don't have quite enough to get there. Couldn't get to this food anyway, but can get that in a couple turns, and that'll get me to 2 tribes pretty early. Actually, might. Oh. Man, okay. What a start so far. So if I go like that, that will give me a little bit more vision. There's actually a food right there that could have gotten me up. But this will let me get a little bit more vision, and I can get onto the river, so I don't feel so bad about wasting my movement. I can attack here. And I'm going to let them attack me first. And then I will attack them. So you get a little bit of bonus when you're the one defending, so I often let wildlife attack me first. Great, now I'll be at 15 food, and we'll move on to this spot next. That'll get me even more food. And now this new tribe, I know there's food down here, right? So I want to send my original tribe down in that direction. So I'm going to take my new tribe, who has full movement, and have them explore up here. Let's hop onto the river, because that'll give me some movement advantages. Wow, 16 and 11. Oh, man. Now, we have to bear in mind that we are going to need ocean access. So that's something I need to consider. Some really good food tiles down here. However, first we're going to go down this way and try to grab this other food. Want to grow as fast as possible. Okay. Deer there. I would really like to see what the terrain up here looks like, but let's do this. We'll lose a little bit of movement, but this will get us food. Okay, or it will force my units to retreat because the deer spawned way down here where they couldn't actually get to my units. Excellent. Well, that is what it is. Can't have everything you want, right? Okay, that food, I don't think that's worth the amount of turns it would take to get there. I am thinking about grabbing one of these territories, though, just because and there's some more food there. Excellent. Like, grabbing this spot would be really nice for growth, regardless of where I ultimately choose to settle. Okay, I'm going to grab... Actually, let me move this guy first. So what I can do is get them onto the river here, take this plus 20 food since it's on this guy, And this tribe now has full movement. And since they're already on a river, I can move them into a position to take one of these spots. Wow. This is low grounds, but okay, there's a mountain there. Potential for like a Zhou start here. Yeah, I'll wait a turn to get them in a better position there. Actually, there's a little bit of food there. Amazing. The only disadvantage there... Okay, there's finally some science stuff. I do need to find those. Only disadvantage of starting up here, which I think I'm going to because the starting yields are so good up in this area. There aren't any luxuries here, and I'm going to be slightly constrained on my growth in terms of districts because of those mountain tiles. But like overall, I would rate this quite highly as a starting location. Okay, again, let's split these guys off. We're basically just looking for stuff to pick up right now. See if same thing happens. Nope. Okay, so got the deer. Would be really nice to get all the stars if I can. Plus 1 food or plus 1 money. We'll go for the money just because money's harder to generate. And yeah, I would love to actually find more influence. Okay, neither of these have food. That was perfect timing from that deer there. I'm going to send this guy down this way because I need to explore this territory a little bit more. Let's see. Do you think it's fine to start on the river? Okay, hay went on the low ground there. There we go. Okay, so send up a little bit this way. This actually, it would not be a bad start for the Phoenicians. Well, I take that back. Like, I mean, this territory down here is actually quite good for the Phoenicians if I could manage to get another outpost down. This one right here this area is not good, but like this area is quite strong for a harbor. If that is the route that I wanted to take. Man, too bad I'm going to be limited to 1 city here. Because there's some really nice terrain on this map. Okay, I'm going to send these guys down this way. So an island there. The other consideration is... because I am going to need... I'm going to want to try to claim a bunch of territories so that my opponents cannot. So I could consider going for like a high influence culture. So that I can claim territories. I know I took a second to finish that thought there. I was a little distracted moving my tribes. I feel like that's a common theme in the game when I'm recording as I kind of get ahead of my own thoughts while I'm playing. What do I do with these guys? I could... So the Mycenaeans have been taken already. No one else. So the Harappans would be pretty good here. I could also consider the Babylonians. So the science would basically help me get to a position where I can get to the New World faster. It'll set me up for like a faster discovery pace. I've talked about the Phoenicians already. Haven would be good for me. Byrene would also potentially let me discover the New World early. Other considerations as well is that since I'm effectively going to be playing a 1 city challenge, I may want like stability, so the Zhou could be an option. Like if I could get the district up there, that would be pretty strong. Even like adjacent to the center with just one mountain adjacency would be fine. Some more potential down here for mountain adjacency as well. Sumerians. I mean, the reduced attached territory cost would be interesting, given that I'll have a lot of city cap count later in the game. Harappans, baseline good. Egyptians, baseline good. I think the Carolins, I mean, I'm gonna struggle with them. Bantu are gonna be terrible for me this game, I think. And then Babylonians we talked about. Assyrians, probably not it. And then Hamanyungan could be an option with the influence in food. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I'm going to send this guy down this way. I would like to claim this territory in here, just because that has the resources that I'm looking for. This guy I'm going to kind of send up this way. Let's reveal the rest of this territory here and see what that looks like. I should also consider just claiming this territory because it's the most forward, basically, compared to this player. And I want to stop them from claiming as many territories as I can. First, let's see what this event is. I'm going to go for the reduced sailing and fishing research costs. That will help me out. And I'm just going to manual battle this. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen. Okay, and then I got the Knowledge Era Star. So astronomy is going to be the play here for the extra science output. Okay, and there's a mammoth. Unfortunately, they are by themselves. Be really nice to claim some, or to defeat some mammoths, so. Okay, I'm just going to position them to get an outpost up later. And I'd really like this territory. I would prefer to settle over here. So I'd have to give this one more turn before I go up an era, because otherwise it'll increase the cost once I move away from being a tribe. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see if they come towards me. I guess the forest would have reduced their movement, so I could have started there and they would have attacked. And then backed up onto the high ground here. Could also potentially claim this territory here, which would let me do it this turn and make my culture selection. This also might change my evaluation of my culture because there's some mountain here as well, so the Zhou could be a possibility, since I am likely to end up with a pretty large capital. Saffron, tea. You have a lot of resource options here. This territory as well could be pretty good for the Zhou. Is there any, like, could I make a case to move this? I don't think so. I think this river is too important. Okay. Mycenaeans and Bantu have been taken. This is actually a difficult decision because, like, I mean, who would I take normally here? I actually don't have a great answer to that at the moment. I mean, maybe Hamanyungan would be a good choice just because there's a lot of, like, good territory here, and they would give me options for generating influence and food, which are some of the most important resources. And the Mycenaeans would let me rush down this guy here, or the Assyrians if I have horses, which I don't. Probably would not consider the Babylonians or the Carolins normally. don't think, I mean, the Egyptians are always a decent choice, right? I don't think I have the terrain that really takes best advantage of them, though. Harappans, of course, are really good. I mean, Hittites is not going to be the right call for me this game, given my restrictions I placed on myself. Nubians could actually be like a solid option if I manage to secure this territory here. So the main consideration, right, is I can still declare wars, but I can't take their cities. So if I take a city off someone, say this becomes their capital, I could take it and then just immediately pillage it. I'm still fine with that, right? As long as they're not, contributing to my empire. I just have to pillage them as I take the cities. Olmecs, I won't have enough territory to benefit from them very well. Phoenicians we've talked about, Sumerians. I mean, I feel like almost everything is a viable option. So what I'm going to do is just take a moment to think about which option that I'm going to choose. I know I haven't gotten the Hunter Aristar, but I feel like getting my culture of choice is more important than getting that Hunter Aristar. So I'll be back in just a moment, and we'll get an update on the culture choice. See you in a second. Okay, so I've been looking at the cultures, and I thought about a couple. I've been over them all already. I did think the Phoenicians would be most in the spirit of the challenge, but I think I'm a little too close to this person to feel comfortable with the Phoenicians, and my influence is going to be pretty limited, especially since I don't have the +1 influence from hunting animals, or that +1 influence per population from hunting animals. And my city is largely going to be, I'll have two for sure, two territories that can support good havens, but otherwise, I'm going to have other territories that won't support it. So I think I'm going to go for the Zhou just because the stability on district, and the Confucian school with the extra stability will be really good for me since I'm trapped on one city for much of the game. And this will help support a much larger city. So let's take the Zhou here. And I will be able to hopefully use Cultural Blitz a little bit as well to support some wonder claiming, and hopefully as well claiming a bunch of outposts. Okay, so nice resources down here. Well, one nice resource that's unknown. Okay, so I'm thinking we want to rush the other players. So I'm going to grab city defense first. And we're going to disband this scout for a little bit of population, put them on industry, move this guy down. And I'm actually not going to disband them until next turn because this is going to grow next turn. And if I disband them, this kind of like resets and will increase the food requirement for the next pop. So I'm going to wait for the next turn for that. Attack them there. Okay. Otherwise, they can hang out. Probably move that guy into the city to disband as well. And position this guy. So we want to claim, I think, these two territories here. So this territory has some really nice rivers and a lot of mountain adjacency for the Confucian school. And then this territory also has some mountains for adjacency as well as some good farming areas. So I think these 4 territories will form the core of my capital. And it's important for that capital to be to have some really good territories this game. Okay, so they've taken the Sumerians, as you could see from the demilitarized zone there. So let's back up into this territory here. We'll just camp there for a bit. That guy's going to go disband. So let's disband there, and I can kill this deer here, hopefully. So this deer will just get me a little bit of gold. Okay, and I can use Cultural Blitz. So I only get 30 from it now, so it's not definitely not what it used to be. But it does scale up the more that you use it. So I'm hoping I can click that button every time it's available. Okay, let's redistribute a little bit. So 2 on industry here. Could start on the Confucian school. Yeah, let's just get that down. Okay. I'm just going to use them to kind of explore for some pickups. And then the rest of these can idle while I wait to build up enough influence to get things that I want. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to attach this territory on the next turn. So normally I would wait to influence purchase, but influence is going to be hard to come by this game. And saffron and tea are not going to be particularly strong effects for me this game. So I really don't need them, at least not for a while. Go for distribute, and yeah, unless I can like claim one of these territories right now, need 124. I'm going to attach here because that's going to increase the outputs of my city here quite a bit. And probably, yeah, that gives me a pretty decent maker's quarter there, reserving this spot for the Confucian School. Let's see. Yeah, so I can reduce the cost of that maker's quarter down to 4 turns. And then I'm actually going to queue up some warriors after that, because my intention is to try to go for my opposing capital city as soon as possible. So let's grab carpentry next, so we get access to archers. And then one more turn on the Confucian School, and then we will probably... Oh, nice. Okay, so I'll zone of control them, and hopefully I can attack them next turn. Would really like to kill that scout if I can. That guy can continue to idle. Okay, so the Confucian School's done. So I don't, like, I have pretty decent science now, so I'm thinking I maybe put someone on money just to support buying out. Once the maker's quarter is done, I will be able to move someone onto industry, which will be a little bit better, I think. Okay, kind of weird. Did they just retreat from something? Because I was expecting them to retreat there. I'm going to refuse that. Actually, I probably should have countered, because I really don't care if I like break treaties later. Okay, that finished some research for me. I might actually skip calendar and all that for the time being, just to go straight for organized warfare. I can actually get an outpost down now. That looks like a pretty good spot right there. Yeah, 20 food and 11 industry is pretty wild. This would be an insane start for the Harappans. If you were playing a normal game, which I am not. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and take out this deer here for a little bit of gold. Wait for them to come to me. The deer will step onto the rivers and low ground and all that stuff, so. Okay. And then how many turns for Cultural Blitz? 5 more turns. And then we'll head back down and claim that there. Just moving them forward a little bit to kind of head off that scout. And then this guy will be able to get that outpost down next turn. Just like that. Okay, Maker's Quarter. Yeah, so I'm actually going to get the Archer in queue first. We'll finish the Maker's Quarter. We'll move someone onto Industry. Then I think we're going to do 3 Warriors and an Archer. One of the considerations against the player I'm playing against right now is that they are going to have pretty strong emblematic units. Okay, they're not going to attack me, that's fine. So they have a pretty strong emblematic unit, and I'm going to need to make sure that I have sufficient blocker units to stop them from getting to my archers. The Aga Ush that they have has, what is it, +1 combat strength for every other Aga Ush in the army, so they can get up like pretty stacked if they build a lot of the Aga Ush. Whoops, did not mean to move that guy. I'll also probably want to attach this territory as soon as possible, because at the moment my path up here is either going up around these mountains and over these rivers, or going up this river and around these cliffs. So it takes a long time for me to actually reinforce armies. So I may want to attach here and actually build a garrison. I'm going to hold on to these grievances until I'm actually ready to go to war, because I have a feeling they're just going to refuse or like force me to withdraw those grievances or immediately declare war, and I want to have as many grievances as possible before I make that war declaration. Okay. Can grab that later, I think. I would rather get this down. Just going to zone of control that guy. Now the question is, where do I want it? So 19 food there. And 5 industry. Slower to get online, but I think that's okay. Alternatively, I could use my influence to attach here, which actually might be the better play. I think I'm going to do that. Because, yeah, so I'll get Confucian schools here and all that. But my main consideration is that this will let me get a garrison down. It's actually not the position that I wanted it in. It's okay, I need to finish this queue anyway. So I'll send this guy down, hopefully, to reveal some stuff. It's going to take too long. I'll let them finish that queue there. We'll put a garrison. Yeah, I guess we can put it up on the river there where it has some line of sight. And then we can use that to actually reinforce our armies. Okay, new player here. The Olmecs. Let's see if they'll do a trade agreement. No, not for that much gold, sorry. Okay, cultural blitz again. This time we'll get 60. I think I'll survive this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a manual battle. Also, I've realized that my sound is coming out of my speakers again. I do this all the time because I'm constantly toggling back and forth. Okay, so I managed to win that battle. And then this one I can actually retreat from. And that'll give me quite a few more sort of claims, I guess you could call them. Grievances, whatever. Really annoying that they've put an outpost down there, but not a big deal. Okay, one more turn for these warriors. I'm going to claim this spot here. And unfortunately, have to fight this battle. I was hoping they wouldn't come over there. Yeah, thought that might happen, but not a big deal. I got my outpost down, and that's all that I really needed. And can these guys go away? They just keep zone controlling my units. What's the fastest route? Okay. Yeah, guess I'll go that way, which makes some amount of sense, given that I am building my garrison up there. And I think this scout, it is time to disband, so I actually have some industry in the city. I should actually go on expert policy here. Do something like that. I mean, this doesn't really matter. Actually, I haven't gotten any of my civics yet because I don't have enough population in my city. Really wish I could pick up these grievances. Let's get them out of there, and then we can step on that outpost there just in time and start pillaging in order to stop it from developing. There we go. Okay, we have science osmosis. We'll boost our research there. Some bonus things there. And we'll move over towards our garrison because that's our reinforced point. Okay, finally get this. So definitely this one to start. Extra influence on main plaza is a little bit better for me than the extra influence on emblematic district at the start of the game. The extra faith on emblematic district will help buoy our religion. We'll go for the reduced create outpost cost. So it'll let me hopefully claim up the rest of this stuff. All right, so we're going to select our spawn point here. We are 3 turns away from organized warfare. So let's do something like this. So this will coincide nicely with when we get organized warfare. I'm good with a non-aggression pact with the round player here. We'll position our troops. Army composition. I'm going to just grab the +1 strength on units. We're going to need that. Even though, you know, the reduced cost would be nice, but it's too much influence for me right now to do that and then swap back. I just need to make a play against them as soon as I can. So I have only one more turn on this one, so I'm going to make that demand. Okay. So if I want to be kind of cheeky here, it's really unfortunate they moved that guy there, just as I was thinking about what I'm going to do next. Okay, let's wait for another warrior here. I'm kind of stacking more melee units than I normally do, because I'm kind of worried about the Agaush. But I was thinking I could make those demands, declare war, purchase these guys, and then they would be in the reinforced zone of Unug. But I also need one more turn on organized warfare anyway, so. Okay, I'm going to do shamanism this game because I'm going to have a fairly large individual city. Okay. I'm just going to purchase these guys, and I'm going to make all these demands. Going to refuse their demands. And probably just go for a surprise war. I don't want to wait another turn. Unfortunately, not quite close enough to initiate a siege this turn. If I could get another archer up there, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, I have really bad production right now, just because I've built so much military. Okay, next up, we want calendar and then irrigation. We'll need to claim these territories, hopefully before this brown scout does. Okay, make sure we siege the city before they can, like, buy out any more reinforcements. They have one Agaush, but I think this is manageable given the number of units that we have here. So of course, we'll go for a manual battle. Okay, they can't reinforce. So the only reason they even have the Agaush is because it was already stationed in the city. Position our archers up on the high ground there, and the rest of these units are going to condense into a ball so that they're providing each other with some combat adjacency bonuses. Okay, this guy is on low ground compared to these levies, so I'm actually going to pull them back. We'll target the Agaush with the archers, and I'm actually going to play this pretty conservatively. And you know, I talk about this all the time, but generally if you have fire superiority in terms of ranged support over your opponents, they will tend to play quite aggressively against you. And that's exactly what they're doing this game. You can actually just jump on the flag here. There's really no reason for me to delay capturing this city. I guess I could try to farm militarist stars, which I'm going to be able to do anyway. So remember, I'm not allowing myself to have cities. So once I capture this city, what I'll be doing is pillaging it. Okay, don't know why they brought that guy there. Just make a whole bunch of attacks, and that's going to drain their war support pretty fast. They did settle a new city immediately after I captured Unug. We'll go for protect, just so we have a chance of getting some good consequences from that event. All right, so let's hop on Unug. So this, the unfortunate part about this rule set, right, is that it's functionally going to delay me from doing things with my armies, because I'm going to have to stop on the cities and pillage them, right? So it kind of slows down my ability to, I'm going to renounce that. It kind of slows down my ability to actually fight my wars. Need one more turn on that. Won't have quite enough money to do it. I'll have to wait one more turn. It's okay though. That's, I don't care about that. That's on a city I'm not even going to be using anyway. We will manual battle here. Just sit on the flag. No, nothing. Okay, great. I wish the pillage would automatically resume after you get attacked like that, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to go after these guys. Okay. I feel okay about my position so far. As long as I can manage to finish this pillage here, I'll be in pretty good shape, I think. Yeah. Some nice options for Maker's Quarters. This one will be really good once I get some additional infrastructure, particularly that one where you get extra, what is it, watermill, where you get industry on river. I think they should all be the same now. So let's get another bunch of influence. Be able to claim a wonder next turn if I want to, which I probably will. Make sure they continue this pillage here. Okay. So I'm going to claim a wonder because I think Pyramid will be really good for me this game. The reduced district industry cost will be really nice when I'm setting up new cities on the New World, and will be really good for my capital since it's going to have a large number of territories. Okay. Build. Got some extra food, so we'll grow faster. Those are both nice. I don't really need to claim this territory quite yet, so I'm going to go ahead and push forward and see if I can siege this next city down. I don't even know where it is. That is very obnoxious that they've claimed that. I actually really need that copper. I hate when they like go around and claim shit like that. I guess I'll like try to pillage it before before they inevitably turn it into a city, because that's what the AI do when they claim spots like that. Okay. Room, huh? This should be a pretty easy siege for me. Like, look at the high ground that I'm going to have here in order to attack it from. Okay, gonna take a while for this Maker's Quarter, but I think that's fine. And let's position all these guys. So, archers are all going to start up here. Everyone else, don't really care all that much. And we'll just give some adjacency to these archers. Okay, I'm gonna do attack the ones I can do the most damage to. Should be able to finish those off. Okay, I'll hit the levies here. Get them in the city. Okay, and they've now settled a third city that I'm going to have to destroy. A declaration of war. Oh, do I have a non-aggression pact with them? Oh, I forgot about that. I'm going to break that. Because this is really annoying. Okay, so going to have to stay up here, pillage that city. And we're still working on our Maker's Quarter here. Alright, let's get a move on. I really don't like this chasing of cities in the early game when you're at war. It happens with some regularity, and it gets pretty old after a while. Okay, so we're going to go for domestication. All these units they have running around. Okay, not really what I wanted, but it's fine. I don't need another Confucian school quite yet. Flood irrigation will be pretty insane in this city. I'd actually gonna grab a warrior because I would like to pillage this before it turns into a city as well. Okay, that's ongoing. Maybe I pillage this outpost here, and that way they can't just hit the city button as soon as I take this other one. Okay. Let's maybe grab writing. Masonry could be good because the extra industry on mountains. Let's just grab writing. That'll set us up for the next era. Okay. Warriors coming up. There they are. Let's get a move on down here. Oops. And we have army wages. I'd actually go for this one. Because I'm not going to need stability on cities that I occupy. Because I will never be taking cities. So this is a little bit different play for me. Village here. Okay. Almost ready to go up to the next era, in theory. I'm gonna struggle with builder stars this game. And I think, yeah, let's just go straight for an assault here. The archers up on that high ground. Do something like that. Should hopefully at least get militarist stars this era, which feels kind of funny with the Zhou. And hopefully next turn I'll actually be able to end the conflict here. So if I force their surrender, yeah, I can't take this territory. So I might actually give it one more turn. Or two. Because if this goes to a city before I can pillage it, then I'm like in an even more annoying position than I was before. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. And unfortunately, this one warrior is not really enough to deal with this here. Ugh, come on. A bear? Really? Why are there still bears running around? We're at turn 42. Now that's gonna delay me getting over there. Where did that even come from? Okay, we can attack the scout at least. Unfortunately, we are going to need to take the city. Man. These random units running around, like, attacking me and zone controlling me is getting old. Let me just end this war. Instead, I'm just, like, I'm chasing this guy all over the place. Oh, my flag is up there. Okay, we'll go up there. They've gone up as the Nazca, which is a strange choice for them. And of course, as soon as I've pillaged, they've settled another one. This is just wild. Okay, I'm going to send that warrior down here. These guys are going to come in and siege the city and get religious rights, so we'll go for the reduced religious district cost. And we'll buy that flood irrigation. Unfortunately, stability has gone down quite a bit. Let's This is a longer term play because I'm going to attach this outpost here eventually, but I'll get more mountain adjacency in that spot, even though I don't currently get it. I could also get some resources here to help with stability, which I think I'm going to do. And I can use Cultural Blitz, 69, nice. And let's grab a wheel. Actually, I can use that warrior there to assault this city. Make sure we're pillaging here. These guys are a little outside the reinforced zone, but these warriors plus the archer should be more than enough to deal with this. I'm going to take these levies out because that'll hopefully prevent them from coming into melee with my archers. Otherwise, they could move through zone of control. They are usually not smart enough to really do that most of the time, but every once in a while. Just going to rotate them so I reduce the risk of these guys taking critical damage. Okay. I don't care about that one. That one's far enough away that I can deal with it at a later date. And this one I have enough time to get down there and pillage. So we'll force a surrender. Because this is my city now, I can immediately pillage it and I won't get any benefits from that city. And actually I took those in the war deal there, so I'm all good. Don't need to pillage those anymore. Okay. Man, it took a lot of chasing them around, but I finally feel like I'm in a half-decent spot here. Let me take a look at who's still available, because ideally who I want is the Polynesians. So no damage from being lost at sea means I can get over to the next continent on the earlier side. Ideally, I would have more era stars than this, but I have to, recognize that I am playing with one city effectively. Only I was able to kill one more unit. Do I care about maintaining good relations with them? Probably not. Make sure you pillage that, please. Other consideration as well, I need to give my Confucian school at least one turn. I would like to have this as well to get the Confucian school there. I'm going to attach that. It's not the best Confucian school, but the stability will help quite a bit. So that'll be 2 turns that I need on those Confucian schools. Okay. Make sure we claim this so we don't get any more nonsense from the AI. Curious if they will attack me if I stand there. Yeah, I thought they might. And they actually they got off their flag for some reason. And I should be able to just outright kill them. Okay. There is my militarist star. Very nice. Okay, would really like to claim this territory as well. So let's try to get that one. Not quite enough to claim that one there. That's okay. I know I still have the pyramid to build as well, and the stone rings. Should probably do that sooner rather than later. Okay, so I'm in a position where I could go up to the next era. Yeah, cultures are starting to go, and I think Polynesians are high priority for me. Just because, so, well, there's a trade-off here, right? Which is that the Polynesians would let me get to the other continent as early as possible, right? Earlier than any other culture could possibly let me get there. I guess maybe the Phoenicians, if you get really lucky with the world generation, but you shouldn't count on that. So this one lets me get to the other area. However, the Murray is not going to be particularly good for me because I don't have a very large empire or many places to build it. So like the scaling effect is going to take a long period to like come into play. I have to have a lot of cities on the other continent. I'd have to delay progression in the classical era, all that to get a lot of value out of the Murray. But it does let me actually get other cities, which is what I want. The other thing I could do is take the Maya or the Celts, right? Because both of these have food in number of attached territories, or industry in number of attached territories. And Haojing's going to have a lot of attached territories, right? So the consideration here is like, do I take the one that is the most immediately beneficial, or do I take one that is going to have a better kind of long-term payout? And that's something I need to think about a little bit, I think. Just take Defiant, because that doesn't really matter, and we'll get some extra influence on our emblematic districts. And actually, speaking of which, I need to maybe change that, though I am benefiting a lot from the faith output at the moment. I should also grab stone rings here. I'm just going to put it... let's see. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to put it right there. Don't want to cover up that river, unless there's like another spot for me that makes more sense. That one might be okay. Use a little bit of industry. That has potential for maker's quarters, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right there. And because we need to get our religion going. The one we really want is be virtuous as water. Is probably going to be the best for us this game. Let's make sure all our units are moving. I'm going to keep the scout down here so that they can hopefully get over to this island there. Use that warrior to get that area. These guys can idle until I have enough influence to claim here at least. Okay. And then I'm going to just, I think, take a minute to consider what my approach is going to be for the next era. I suppose maybe the Greeks, because the cog lets me explore, but I can't actually get units over to another continent until I get to 3-masted ship with a naval transport, unless I take the Polynesians or the Norsemen. So something to consider, because I do want to get there as soon as possible. I don't know. I think I need to think about it, because I think it's either, right, the Polynesians now, or I have to take the Norsemen in the next era, which might be an even worse pick than the Polynesians in the classical, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take a bit to think about it, and I'll talk through it at the start of the next episode, my reasoning for why we're going whichever way. So appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.